Hi, welcome to another Nigel's funny Christmas rhyme. This particular poem was written about my pet dog called Ralph. Unfortunately, Ralph has an eating disorder. He just can't stop eating, and so this poem is dedicated to him. It's called A Dog's Dinner. We all took our seats at the table. My brother, my sister and me, our mum and our dad and our granny, just like Christmas dinner should be. Our dog wandered in, ever hopeful, and sat by our Gran on the floor. The starters were gobbled in minutes, with no room for seconds, I'm sure. Our mum made her way to the kitchen, while Dad cleared the dishes away. Then Mum reappeared with the turkey, surrounded by spuds on a tray. She went back for stuffing and gravy, when all of a sudden she shouts, "I know that you all really hate them, but it's Christmas, you're all having sprouts." We all poked our tongues out in horror. Even our Gran had her doubts. We'd all eat our dinner with pleasure, but preferably minus the sprouts. We all ended up with a portion. We each had a total of 8, and to avoid being poisoned at Christmas, they were pushed to the side of the plate. Our Gran found a way round the problem. Her sleight of hand really was neat. She rolled a sprout right off the table to our dog who was sat by her feet. Well, Ralph, that's our dog, was in heaven. The sprout disappeared without trace. He gulped it right down without chewing and sat with a grin on his face. Our dad saw what Granny was doing and thought this was quite a good plan. So when he knew Mum wasn't looking, our dad did the same as our Gran. Our dog got a sprout from my brother, who cottoned on fast to this game. Then Ralph moved around to my sister, and she did exactly the same. The dog nuzzled up to my slippers. He knew I was next in the line, and just like the rest of my family, the dog polished off one of mine. Our Mum hadn't noticed our cheating. The sprouts disappeared one by one. Our dog did the rounds till we'd finished. Ralph had 40, while we'd eaten none. Our Mum said, "Well done, that was lovely. Clear the table, make room for the pud." Poor Ralph was laid under the table. He belched, and he didn't look good. The pudding she made was enormous. It sat on the table with pride. She'd covered the top bit with brandy, which trickled like oil down the side. She then took a match and she struck it. In hindsight, it wasn't that smart. The pudding was then set on fire, just as Ralph had decided to fart. Now, sprout farts are not very pleasant, and not just because of the smell. The build-up of methane exploded. The scene was like something from hell. My Gran lost her teeth and her glasses. My dad singed the hairs up his nose. My sister just screamed as Mum shouted. Well, that went with a bang, I suppose. Our dog couldn't make out what happened. He sniffed his own bum to find out. His tail was all black and still smoking. His bottom just smelt of burnt sprout. So that was the end of our dinner. A Christmas we'd rather forget. Next year we'll be booking a restaurant. The dog won't be with us, I bet. So please take some heed from this story. I'm sure you all know what that means. Enjoy Christmas lunch like our dog did. But for God's sake, please eat your own greens. Thanks for listening to this rubbish. You'll find that poem in one of my 2 books which are available on Amazon, together with lots of other funny poems. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.